Okay, so the SD card on my GoPro just notified me that it was full, so no more recording. Back to where I was, and I'll try to tie these two together. This is the 1970 camper, Ford Econoline 300. I'm kind of going through a walkthrough showing the layout. This is a box that I found that had kind of a roadside essentials, you know, extra fan belts, windshield wipers, screen repair. And it's when I found this box that I realized how old this camper was and how much people did back in the day to really keep themselves running independently without having to call a tow truck or take it to a service station, that kind of stuff. Okay, so looking down in here, we have a little Kool-Aid, an old metal Kool-Aid tin with some miscellaneous, you know, repair parts in there. There's an extra 12-volt pump for your water supply underneath the sink, an extra coil. This right here, once I seen this, I really knew that this camper had been around, man. Back in the day, we had leaded fuel, gasoline, and if you've noticed on your car now, it says use unleaded fuel only, and at every gas station, it's always unleaded fuel on all three grades of fuel that you can get. This is a lead replacement for when they did the switch from leaded gasoline to unleaded. You would need something like this to make your engine run smoothly. So it's really, I mean, it just really just shows its age right there, that the guy bought this to make sure that his engine will run smoothly on that transition. Another thing showing age is this brake fluid here in a metal can. So that's pretty cool. It looks like brand new. And then here's what really shows the age of this vehicle. Quaker State motor oil in the metal tin, unopened. I mean, this stuff is like, you don't hardly ever find these in this good a shape unopened. I mean, this is crazy. So that just kind of shows the age of this vehicle. But this guy was very proactive about, you know, being prepared, having what you needed while on the road. It's a really neat, I love finding these type of things when I get a new project. It just shows you how much people really cared about their things back in the day. I mean, this box is handmade. I mean, look at the, you know, double layer, got the corner block and everything like that. Got a custom metal tin lid here, made to fit perfectly underneath the storage in the rear. I mean, it's just those little things like that that really make you appreciate the history behind an old vehicle. I mean, not only is this an old vehicle, but it is an old camper. So this thing has been around. I mean, it's been places. It's really neat. So there's that rod, that lug wrench rod. Here's some leveling blocks the guy made himself, or when you got to the campsite, you'd put these under the wheel and level yourself up. But yeah, this is it. I mean, here's your rear storage. Guy made this as well. I'll probably improve on that. Of course, I'll be redoing the ceiling. It's all the white vinyl is peeled off. This bed, it makes into like a queen size bed. It's very spacious back here, very nice. It's got very large windows for such a small camper. Wraparound panoramic window. I mean, look how wide these things open. I mean, they open a good 2.5 feet wide by probably another 1.5 feet tall. I mean, they're huge windows for a camper. These two boards here will go in between the rails and make this whole thing one huge bed. And then of course that table back here, this is your dinette. It just folds up. Folds up like that, so it makes a good size dinette. Moving forward here, got some electrical outlets, you know. These will probably be changed out. this guy, he bought the camper new in 70 and was an engineer. So since he got it, you know, just like any engineer can never leave anything well enough alone. So he did a few things here and there trying to make it more efficient, lighter weight, and just all around better for his use. These aren't necessarily very efficient, I wouldn't say. These are just a regular incandescent bulb type of connection. I'll switch everything over probably to LED. But you can see how he replaced the doors and cabinetry with very thin paneling, which is fine by me because they're not warped and they're not in bad shape. Just need to be, you know, kind of updated with new hardware and things like that. As far as onboard water, there is no storage tank under the frame. There is this right here, 5-gallon water storage with a 12-volt pump for your kitchen. There's your faucet, and of course your sink's under here. A little button right here that you push in to cycle the water through. Your stove would go in this little slot here. Of course, this lifts up out of the way when you're using the stove. Let's see here. Small refrigerator. This will probably be taken out, and I will put a 12-volt cooler style because I don't really need an actual refrigerator, and this isn't very efficient at all. These are, you know, just old school refrigerator. Some neat things that he's done to this. This little handmade light box here. See the light bulb inside here? This cover, of course, goes over top of that. Right there, it's all handmade, hand-formed, everything. I seen that in this cabinet. I was like, what the heck is that for? So I got to looking. And inside this shower area, there's a little portable toilet. There was no permanent toilet in here, so that came with it, brand new. Inside here is this little light. That's where the light bulb's at on the other side. So it gives you light in your shower and kind of semi-waterproof. You may be wondering, like, well, how do you take a shower in here? You know, this box up here, stainless steel box, little drop down. Got these in the way. Drop down spigot. You pull that down like that, and your water would come out, gravity fed. Well, why put a box up there? Why not just use a 12-volt pump or something like that? Well, reason being is, if you can see how it's kind of a dark color on the bottom, this box removes. You lift up and pull out, just like so. You'd fill the box up with water, take it to your stove area over here, heat it up, bring it back, set it back up into its little perch here, and voila, you have hot water. And then you can shower, turn it off when you're done, rinse off, turn it off when you're done. If you hurry, somebody else can have a semi-warm shower. Okay, inside this little closet, minus all the extra store or drying apparatuses for clothes, you have your small little sink here. Again, this is another gravity-fed system. There's a little holding tank up here that you fill up with warm water or cold water, whatever. A little shelf right there. And this is all made by the guy in 1970 or in the 70s. Down to a small stainless sink, and then that goes down and goes out. Right here is a small exhaust fan that could be turned on to kind of circulate air through this upper vent here. So you have that. Another thing too that I found and kind of pieced together what this was made for is in this cabinet where the light was, this little squirrel cage thing. Well, it has a small electric fan in there. Okay. What that was for, that bungee there and this bungee here suspended that fan right here, and this is what gave it away. You see the circular shape of these bugs that were pulled in through this vent? He made that fan to sit here, bungee into place, and then you can either plug it into this outlet over here that he installed, or you could run the cord back and, you know, run it in where the refrigerator plugs in and all that too. But that was his ventilation because they didn't have the roof vent in here. What I'll do is probably put a Fantastic fan or a Max Air fan in here. And I'm thinking an AC back here. I'm not for sure yet. I'm still throwing that idea around. But anyway, pretty much everything is original. The seats were recovered by the original owner's wife. The lower seat cushions were totally trash. You can see kind of some residue where it was falling apart. I took that out last night and cleaned up, just the aisleway and things like that a little bit. These are feed bag cloth made for the curtains. Those will be, of course, replaced. This will be all updated to what Tina and I would like to have. But yeah, this is it. This is another little bunk up here that folds down like a single person or a child bunk. I laid up in it, so yes, it will hold an adult. Comfortably, not so much. But in a pinch, yes, you could sleep up there if you had to. It's kind of like the miniature doghouse when you're on the camping road. So it's easy access to the front. Through this when that's up like that. And it's held up with a couple of bolt locks. So, very easy access. And this thing purrs like a kitten. This has not been started or drove in the last 12 years. I've seen this thing sitting forever. I mean, for a long time. And never did stop in to ask about it. Well, the other day I was like, I'm going to stop in and ask him about this thing. Well, sure enough, he wanted to get rid of it. So we made a deal. And I got me a 1970 camper. And when he said he hadn't been started or drove in 10 years, 12 years, whatever it was, I was like, man, I wanted to trailer this thing. So I brought my trailer thinking, no, I'll just, we'll roll it up on there, use it, come along if we have to. Well, it didn't fit. It's a little too wide. It's about 3 inches too wide for the trailer for it to fit on. So that was a bummer. But lucky for us, we put 5 gallons of gas in it, put a little bit in the carburetor. Battery was dead, of course. I took the battery out of the Wrangler to do this area here, or do this right here, but here's what it does. Like the day it rolled off the assembly line. It's got 33,676 miles on it, original. I'm the 3rd owner now. All these changes that I've been showing you with all the, storage solutions and all that kind of stuff were done by the original owner back in the 70s. He bought it brand new. And then the guy I got it from got it probably, I would say, 25 years ago. And he's had it ever since now. And now I'll have it for however long, we'll be camping in it. So I plan to keep this one. This is not one that I want to flip and resell. This is pretty much the same layout that I wanted to get when I was looking at the Sun Raiders. Except for the Sun Raiders cost $10,000. And I did not want to be spending that kind of money on that old of a vehicle. And not know much about it. So, just like I always do, trades are always best. Here's kind of an overview of the outside. It's a little dirty, of course. Been sitting, nothing been done to it. Champion RV. And this is a slim model, what I call it. I mean, here's the body line. And as you can see, you only come out like 2 inches on either side of your body for the width of your camper. I love that. I love that a lot. And just as a comparison, I'm going to do another thing because I was talking to my wife yesterday about the size of it. And I said, this thing is not much longer than my Excursion. Well, there's the Excursion side by side. I'm sitting probably about a 1.5 feet behind the front of the Excursion there. The Excursion is actually about 1.5 feet longer than this RV. So, given that, I can park this thing anywhere. It's freaking awesome. Sorry this video is so long, but I just had to show you guys this. Got other storage boxes beneath here. 2 tubes right here that were used for fishing rods. Spare tire holder that was made by the owner, the original. a box holder which was rotted off, so I changed it out. A jerry can holder. Of course, this bumper's been screwed a few too many times, so that'll come off, and I'll put a heavier duty bumper because I want to put a motorcycle carrier on here. These are some random things that were found in the box: fishing pole holder, axe, hammer, things like that. Another box on this side here. But yeah, this is going to be really cool. I'm going to give it a good pressure washing and see what we got to work with, and keep you all updated.